Hello everyone, welcome back to more G-Senjou no Maou with me, Phantom's Y. So, a couple of things before we get started this episode. You can probably tell I'm still a little bit sick, so I apologize for sounding a little sickly this episode. But I wanted to get the next episode out to you guys, because, hey, I know it sucks to wait, right? Another thing, you may have noticed if you've been following the series up until now, hey, we got borders now for this, at least potentially. So, it's always kind of bugged me, being that, most VNs are, 4:3 resolution, but posting them to YouTube, it's, today's standard is, at least 720p, either way, 16:9 resolution. So, I thought maybe I would toy around with the idea of putting borders on all of my videos, from here on out, all my Let's Plays for visual novels. But, of course, I want to know what you guys think. Is this something you like? Or would you prefer just to have the black bars, and is this kind of distracting? The other thing about this, that isn't really an issue that I have a way to fix, is that you probably noticed you can see the side of the border of the actual game window with the borders I have set up here. So, what do you guys prefer? I just want to know, and I'll be sure to take your feedback into consideration and whether or not this is something that just happens this episode and maybe the next one, or if it's something that I continue to do with most, if not all, of my series going forward. So, yeah, just post in the comments, let me know. Alright, and without further ado, since it's been a while, let's get into it. In any case, everyone worked very hard. I talked as if nothing had happened. Only Tsubaki and her father were in the living room. That's right, last episode, the whole runaround with the ransom. Oh man, that was crazy. But in the end, they didn't get Hiroaki back, so will Maou deliver? I'm sorry that I wasn't of any help. Did you do everything that the kidnapper ordered you to do, Tsubaki? Then the perpetrator should release Hiroaki. I wiped the sweat off my forehead and exhaled deeply. Today's work was insanely busy. I can't believe that I had to run all across the city. Gonzo really works me hard. Please, don't worry about it. Everyone's in the same boat here. I'll try to help as much as I can from now on. From now on, of course, means the paperwork. Since the ransom has been taken care of, there's no way the Miwa family can possibly pay back the 50 million. The moment the time limit is up, the loaner will immediately take the land as collateral. What did you say? Right, Usami. That irritating woman. Usami is going to catch the kidnapper, she says. Tsubaki, did you ask her to do that? I see. This girl is an idiot. If you were going to rely on someone like Usami, you might as well just have called the police in the first place. They're many times better than her. She said that, opening her deep eyes. It seems that these two women have been playing a cute little game of friendship while I was gone. Anyway, catching the kidnapper would be best. I brushed away a smidgen of worry. When you stop thinking to think for a second, there's no way a girl like Usami could go up against a kidnapper who abducted a child and demanded a ransom in stock certificates. I say that, and I might just be paranoid, but there does seem to be something about Usami hiding under the surface. It'd be very problematic to me if the kidnapper didn't successfully get the ransom. A sound came from the front door. I was suddenly faced with a monstrous sight. Yo, Usami, why are you sweating so much?
まあ自分基本走り込みが足らないんで
Spouting her typical nonsense, she rested against the door frame.
犯罪さん、ありがとうございました。
Hmm?
ロッカーを見張っててもらいましたよね。
Ah, right. When we met on the street by coincidence? Right, the ransom was in the locker and you told me to guard it.
助かりましたよ、本当。
I didn't see any suspicious people going near it.
そうっすか。お忙しいのに本当恐縮です。
It took around an hour. By Usami's request, I stayed near the station locker. There was still some time before my next meeting, so I did her a favor. After organizing my memory, I calmed down. Oh, and Usami. She didn't seem all that happy. What happened? Well, I can imagine that she didn't catch the culprit, at least. Tsubaki gave her hopeful eyes. I don't know when it started, but my palm was full of sweat. Very quickly, Usami lowered her head in front of Tsubaki.
ごめん。犯人には逃げられた。
Usami's expression was twisted by agony. So she does have an expression like that.
気にしないで。はるちゃんがそばにいてくれてるって思うだけで、いや、あんまりそんな余裕なかったけど、とにかく心強かったよ。
ごめん。
I also put on my most cheerful tone. Now come on, don't beat yourself up over it. We did what the kidnapper wanted us to do. We didn't contact the police either. After he gets the ransom, he'll definitely be satisfied and release Hiroaki-kun. At that, Usami suddenly spoke up.
それはないです。
What? Are you saying that Hiroaki-kun isn't going to come back?
はい。
Okay? She said it with no sign of hesitation. Why? I know we can't guarantee that he'll keep his promise, but why are you so sure of it?
そうだよ。犯人は身代金を受け取ったんだから、あとは信じるしか。
Usami slowly shook her head.
犯人はまだ身代金を手にしていない。
What did you say?
どういうことかな。私、ちゃんと指定通りハンバーガーショップの前にケースを置いたよ。他の誰かが勝手に持ってっちゃったってこと？
In the face of Tsubaki's questions, Usami just continued to shake her head.
椿、今日の朝、家を出るときに私は言ったよな。最悪の場合、身代金だけは奪われないようにすると。
そうすれば、たとえ犯人に逃げられたとしても、もう一度交渉のチャンスはあるとか。
Usami nodded.
だからそうさせてもらった。
どうやって？
覚えがないか？
何のこと？
Then, Usami slowly reached behind her. Opening the half-closed door behind her, she picked something up.
ケース。
Oh shit! And Kyosuke is like, fuck! Tsubaki gasped. It wasn't just Tsubaki. Everyone was looking at Usami in awe. I, who debriefed Tsubaki earlier, have already guessed what stunt Usami pulled. You swapped cases?
さすが財産です。そうです。混雑したセントラル街で、私は椿にぶつかっていったんです。
Tsubaki seemed to remember.
そういえば、誰かにぶつかって一度ケースを落として。
その時にすり替えさせてもらった。私が用意していたケースの中身は空だ。
When did you prepare it?
朝一番に椿がケースを購入した後、同じものを買わせてもらいました。6000円は痛かったですが、それはまあどうでもいいです。
What a girl. So the kidnapper took an empty briefcase and got away?
はい。身代金の株券はまだこのケースの中にあります。
So that means Usami has hailed this briefcase while had hailed this briefcase while chasing the culprit. Suddenly, Tsubaki's father opened his mouth. Can't read. It looks like he's still not ready to let go of his land. In other words, man, I really can't read. His words carried a trace of happiness.
はるちゃん。
Tsubaki sighed, moved. I sighed too, but mine held a completely different meaning from Tsubaki's. Yeah, that means today was a stalemate.
だといいんですが。
Even though her expression was backed with confidence, there was still a shred of anxiety in her words. Just don't make the kidnapper too angry.
はい。それが怖いです。
Is that all you have to say? Do you even realize that Hiroaki-kun's life is on the line? Meddling little...
浅井君やめて。はるちゃんは良かれと思って。
浅井君の気持ちもありがたいけれど、あの株券も家族の神経がかかった大切なものなんだ。それを守ってくれるのは素直に喜ばしいよ。
Even Tsubaki's father cut in. True. Sorry. I'll just put up my laudable persona. You thought that he wouldn't release the hostage even if he got the ransom, right, Usami?
はい。犯人。魔王は恐ろしく慎重な人物です。もっと言えば、身代金を渡そうが渡すまいが、人質を返すつもりはないのかもしれません。
I feel like the game audio is a little loud, or a little quiet, so I'm going to turn it up just a little bit here. Alright, let me know if the balance in this video is a little off. I'd been adjusting a lot of settings, so I'm not sure if I kind of messed up the balance between my voice and the game, but yeah. Sorry about that if it's a little loud. Oh, I see how it is then. Since the hostage isn't going to be coming back either way, might as well try to keep him from getting the ransom, right? I said it mockingly. How logical. You, Usami, are a woman so truly logical that it's frightening. Usami was silent.
宇佐美さん、警察を頼らなかった時点で責任は全て僕が持つつもりだよ。
そうだよ。たとえ警察の人がいても犯人は捕まえられなかったかもしれないんだから。
I don't like watching scenes like this.
じゃあとりあえず株券を渡してもらおうか。
Tsubaki's father asked Usami for his family savings. Usami said that she understood and opened the case. Unimaginable. It's empty, isn't it?
どういうことだ。
Her eyes widened. Usami's face was bleached white in an instant. In contrast, a shout of victory welled up in my chest. As if there was a demon burying his fangs inside me, mocking Usami.
ない。
A shocked Usami, and Usami, who had been turned to stone, murmured.
ない。
Her face was adorned with an expression of defeat.
株券が身代金が消えている。
Dun dun dun! I feel like my voice is a little loud, so I'm gonna turn this down.
聞いてくれよ、京介ちゃんよ。
Okay, hopefully that's a better balance. I'm sorry if I was like super loud for most of the video. I should have tested more thoroughly before I did this, but I just made sure the video was working and then started. Yeah. Anyway, I went to school today.
あれ、今日生誕祭なわけだよ。
Christmas?
どうよ、びっくりしただろう。
Not in the least. What you meant to say is it's your birthday, right?
ほら出せよ、貢ぎ物。
Would some cheap cafeteria food do?
よかねえよ。ブランド物の財布とかにしろよ。
Forget about it, kid. I don't owe you anything. I waved my hand, dismissing him.
ねえ、宇佐美さん、なんかちょうだいよ。
He began to extort from the person sitting in front of me, Usami.
宇佐美さん、僕誕生日なんだよ。
Usami was silent, lost in thought.
誕生日ったら誕生日なんだよ、宇佐美さん。
Usami silently held her hand out to Eiichi.
おめでとうございます。ありがとうって何これ？首切ってん？まあ期限切れてますけど。ちょっと！代わりに肩たたき券として機能することにします。肩揉んでくれるの？はい、いつでも言ってください。やったー！じゃあ今すぐ揉んでよ。今っすか？今。 わかりました。
一度この生意気な女をこき使ってみたかったんだよな。せいぜい俺のために働いてくれや。
Oh man, Eiichi is so messed up. Usami stood behind Eiichi. Seeing the two of you right next to each other makes Eiichi look really short. She took my comment as a cue to start massaging.
じゃ、行きますんで。はい？
ちょっと加減して。
ほう。
まだ痛いよ。
すみません。ちょっと考え事してまして。
後で考えてよ。
こんぐらいですかね。っていうか、絵手吉さん、全然肩凝ってないじゃないですか。
そう
だから痛いんすよ。
宇佐美さんの握力が異常なんじゃない？
Is she really that strong?
いや、ほんと、京介くんもやってもらいなよ。
とりあえず終わります。あまり心地よくなかったようで申し訳ないです。
Usami returned to her seat. Hey Usami, come massage me too.
浅井さんは誕生日じゃないでしょ？
Aw, come on, just for a little bit.
嫌ですよ。とりわけ浅井さんは嫌です。
Gosh, you must really hate me.
うん、
I know you're upset about your failure yesterday, but don't take it out on me.
八つ当たりをしているわけではありませんが、そう思われても仕方がないので謝ります。
You don't have to apologize.
いえ、すんませんでした。
She's probably feeling down because she feels responsible for what happened yesterday.
でも浅井さんに肩もみは嫌です。
She mumbled the rest.
こんなところで。
I ran into Tsubaki in the hall.
おはよう、浅井くん。
Yo, you're coming back to school already?
学園を休んでてもしょうがないから。
True, but are you sure you're okay? Emotionally? Tsubaki looked as steady as always. I could still tell, though, that her stability was a forced facade. Has the kidnapper contacted you? I asked her softly. Is that so? I hope Hiroaki-kun is still okay.
とりあえずいつ連絡がかかってきてもいいように携帯電話は持ってきてるよ。
Ah, I see. Don't let the teacher see it, okay? Tsubaki smiled as I finished my sentence.
なんだか悪い子になっちゃった気分だよ。昨日もいろんな人にぶつかったのに謝る暇もなくて。
Yep, you're a terrible person. You couldn't have. Don't worry about it.
警察の人からも逃げちゃったし。
Anyone would run. The kidnapper might have ended the negotiation if you hadn't.
ごめん。ありがとうね。
Cheer up. You did what you could. Even so, does the kidnapper even intend to release the hostage? If Tsubaki gets desperate and calls the police, all my work would go down the drain. Oh right, apparently it's Eiichi's birthday today.
え？
Her eyes became round as a softball.
そうだっけ？
She took out her diary and started reading it carefully.
おかしいな。栄一くんのお誕生日は6月
She would know.
だけど。
His quote-unquote birthday. Seriously? That kid. That's what I figured, but... Lunchtime rolled around. Eiichi in it. God, that face, man. It's creeping me out, Eiichi. Eiichi inexplicably held a mountain of presents in his arms.
大量だぜ。それにしても京介もマジ忘れっぽい野郎だぜ。予想通り俺の誕生日を勘違いしてやがった。
You absent-minded asshole.
それにしても誕生日が年に2回あるなんて、俺マジホストの才能あるんじゃねえの。
えいちゃん、今日誕生日なの？うん、よかったらなんかちょうだい。
Cannon's gonna totally stamp on his parade, isn't she?
何がいい？
Oh, maybe
兄
not.
さんに頼んで高級腕時計を買ってもらってよ。 それじゃあ私からのプレゼントにならないでしょ。こう見えてものんちゃん A ちゃんのこと大好きなんだよ。嬉しいな。
冗談じゃねえぞバラ。お前のせいで何度口を味わわされたことか。
Which is exactly why I thought that she was going to be the one to screw him over here.
今度手料理作ってあげるね。
意外だね。ご飯とか作れるんだ。
Not at all, I bet.
冷麦とか得意だよ。
Yep.
バカ野郎。なんで真冬に冷てえもん食いにはならねえんだ。
あとかき氷削るのもうまいよ。スケート選手だけにね。
うまいな、かのんちゃんは。
Hey, Eiichi.
京介くん、つばきちゃんも。
Eiichi approached Tsubaki.
つばきちゃん元気？学校来れるってことはもういろいろ心配ないんだね。
いろいろ迷惑かけたね。
いいんだよいいんだよ。それよりプレゼントちょうだい。
Yeah, more importantly, Eiichi reached out with open palms as he asked for the present.
そのことなんだけど。
Yep, you're screwed. Tsubaki tilted her head.
記憶違いかな。確か H 君の誕生日って6月じゃなかったっけ？あれ？やっぱり私の間違いかな。そう日記に書いてあったからごめんね。
あ、いやいや、そうだよ。勘違いしてるんじゃないかな。
はあ、危ねえぜ。椿が天人じゃなかったらアウトだったぜ。
That kid is the poster child of true evil. Hey, you.
なんだよこの野郎。おめえには関係ねえだろうが。
But still,
おめえがなんか被害受けたかっつうの。おめえは地球温暖化の被害とかもろ受けてるんかっつうの。大して受けてねえのにしゃしゃりでんなっつうの。
while Eiichi's comment pisses me off, it's true that this doesn't affect me.
でも待てよ、この展開。この展開いつものパターンじゃねえの。俺が調子いいと必ず邪魔してくる女が。
Oh, here comes Usami. Yep.
月さん。
He knows he's screwed. Eiichi immediately went into defensive mode.
何かな？今日は僕の誕生日だよ。いや、それはいいんです。今日ラーメンとか食べに行きませんか？ラーメン？はい、浅井さんと3人で。
Why do I have to go? I subconsciously took a step forward.
いいけど、何時くらい？バイト終わりで9時くらいですかね。
Wait, I'm busy then. I need to report to Gonzo today about selling Tsubaki's house to the Suno Corporation. I need to greet the lender and the developers. I have a ton of things on my to-do list.
そこをなんとか。
No way. I bet you were planning on making me pay for everything.
いえ、エテキチさんの誕生日でもあることですし。あ、そう。ありがとうね。
おいおい、これ完全勝利ってやつじゃねえの。気分いいね。
それじゃあそういうことで。
I won't be going. Usami walked away. I could almost see an aura of loneliness coming from her retreating back.
ねえねえ、みんなテレビ見てくれた？テレビ？
You were on TV?
見てないの？生放送のやつだよ。ああ。
Tsubaki seemed to have recalled it.
だからあんなに混んでたんだ。そっか。通りで聞いたことがあるような声がしたと思った。
But still, for the kidnapper to aim for that chance.
僕見たよ。かのんちゃん可愛かった。
のんちゃんもまさかあの有名芸能人にお水を渡す日が来るとは思わなかったよ。
Her star-crazed nature shone through, but she looked happy regardless.
なんかね、ひったくり事件が起こったみたいですごかったよ。テレビが来てるのにひったくりするなんて犯人すっごい度胸だよね。
The remaining lunch break consisted entirely of a conversation revolving around Cannon's show-off to antics. I rushed to Gonzo's house right after school. That's how it went down. It's been carried out pretty smoothly.
いいだろう。お前のことだ。差し押さえた土地をすぐに山王物産に売り渡す手はずは整えている。
I nodded and lowered my head as though I was grateful. We should be able to sell for higher than originally expected. However, I feel that strengthening our connections with Sano is far more important than the actual profit from the sale.
あまり尻尾を振りすぎる。
I understand. Still, even Gonzo wouldn't dare ignore Sano's influence.
5000万の弁済はいつになっている。
There's no interest until the 10th day, so I went ahead and used those 10 days as the deadline. In any case, it'll be impossible for them to return the 50 million within 10 days, so that piece of land is pretty much ours. Of course, it's a totally different story if they can catch the kidnapper and get the ransom within 10 days.
町金から5000も集めるのは苦労したんじゃないか。
Thanks to your influence, Father, it went relatively smoothly, and there was no trouble involving credit or collateral.
俺を随分と利用したわけだな。
A chill ran up my spine.
身は椿だ。
The chill tore at my stomach. Gonzo moved his head around with an air of laziness. His head, not his hair. I think I said hair.
まさかそんなメスに心を動かしたのではない。
You must be kidding. I've already given you my word on this, Father. Rest assured, it's impossible. Tsubaki is... I wouldn't call her a hypocrite, but she's far from a woman that suits me. She would be better suited with a more normal, good-hearted student, not me.
京介。
As if intimidating a small animal, Gonzo suddenly roared.
野心がいつの間にか恋心に転じることはあるが、恋心が野心に戻ることはない。
I guess that's his way of saying, make sure you have your shit together.
だが、恋の対象が消えてなくなれば、再び野心を目指す。邪魔なら、その女を消してやるぞ。
Yikes. He might really do it. This monster wouldn't have the tiniest hesitation when taking a life. And he has means and power that don't require hesitation. I'm alright, no worries.
俺も信用はしている。
Its stare was dangerous.
だから一つ教えてやる。犯人が要求した白鳥建設の株だが、
Yes?
そろそろ猛烈な勢いで売りに入るぞ。
A selling period? Is the stock price going to drop?
暴落する。
How do you know that? Was what I was going to ask. But on second thought, it wasn't that surprising that Gonzo had some insider information. So the ransom the kidnapper took isn't worth 50 million anymore. In other words, Tsubaki's family has already been forced into the pit of despair. They won't be able to return the 50 million, even if they get the shares back. Selling shares when the stock's all but tanked is practically impossible, so there's already no way the Miwa family could obtain the 50 million in cash. But why?
お前の学園に警察の捜査がある。詳しくは近く新聞でも読むがいい。
And as you may recall, the Shiratori construction is the Shiratori, I think her name is Miwa. Anyway, we've met her several times, and she actively dislikes Kyosuke, so... I understand, but what a funny kidnapper.
そう思う。
Yes, the shares that he obtained through such difficulty aren't worth all the trouble in the end.
あるいは知っていたのかもしれない。
Gonzo raised his thick eyebrows.
白鳥建設の株価が落ちることは少しでも山王物産に関わっている人間なら誰でも予測できたことだろうか。
Really? But wouldn't that mean the kidnapper didn't kidnap for money?
そんなことは最初から分かっていただろう。
I just realized that I wasn't interested in the kidnapper's motives or purpose. I was just thankful for this devil's assistance. I gave it no further thought than that. I suppose that's true. If he was in it for money, there are lots of other richer families. Even with Tsubaki's family owning land at the center of much attention right now, why would they be the target of such a crime?
金の価値というものはそれを持つ人間にとって千差万別だ。例えば俺やお前にとって5000など大した額ではない。
50 million's quite a lot to me, father.
その一家にとっては身を切るような大切な金。
In other words, father, you believe that the real intent behind the kidnapping was to drive Tsubaki's family out?
犯人はその一家が不幸になって得をする人間。
He's gonna say you, isn't he? He made a fierce, bestial look at me as he paused. He means to say, someone like me.
例えばの話だ。
His deep, dark laughter echoed in the room.
しかしそうなると腑に落ちないと思う。
Excuse me?
犯人はなぜ身代金を奪ったのだろうな。
Oh. Right, if the kidnapper knew Shiratori Construction's stocks were going to drop, why did he go through all that trouble to get the ransom? You have a point. The kidnapper achieved his goal the moment the 50 million yen was changed into shares.
しかも身代金誘拐などという警察の足のつきやすいやり方を選んでいるのも下船。一家に金を吐き出させたいだけなら盗みにでも入った方がまだ安全だ。
If we look at it from the perspective of Usami, we could say that perhaps it's to provoke her. And Maou has said numerous times, come Usami Haru, many a game we shall play, blah blah, all that. Still, this man is getting more and more fearsome.
何か犯人の余裕というか今日のようなニュアンスが。
How did Gonzo come up with such a detailed hypothesis going on only what I told him? I guess that just proves that violence alone wasn't all he needed to get where he is today. Maou. For an unknown reason, this word escaped my mouth.
Huh?
Gonzo didn't overlook this word. No, a girl called Usami transferred to our school recently. She claims that the kidnapper is Maou.
根拠は
She says the kidnapper made contact through the cell phone Maou gave her a few days earlier. But father, Usami has some, shall we say, psychological issues. I was thinking this may just be her imagination. Gonzo gently closed his eyes.
お前の話を聞けば妄想に取りつかれるほど宇佐美と魔王の間には因縁があるということになるな。
Or, no, well, Usami did say that once they were connected somehow.
ならばその因縁とやらを探れ。
So, I'll have to open my heart and talk with Usami? I thought of Usami's elusive attitude. This is going to be a headache.
魔王の目的は案外その宇佐美という女かもしれんと。
Like I was just saying. Yeah, right. Why would a strong figure like Maou be targeting a worthless girl like Usami? Wait, I can't be sure that she doesn't have anything worthwhile. Suddenly, the cell phone in my shirt pocket started vibrating. I wouldn't dare answer a phone in the presence of Gonzo.
そうか。どうもお前からメスの匂いがすると思ったが、その女だ。
Yep, you know, you can tell what a female smells like always. Gonzo seemed almost pleased.
しかし京介、まさか魔王を捕まえるという仕事を忘れているわけではあるまいな。
Never. Though it is true that I've put it on low priority. The task currently in my hands is more important than looking for some devil I don't even know. Well, it's about time for me to go.
おう、いい報告を期待しているぞ。
I took a deep bow and left Gonzo's house. I checked my call history after leaving the house. Apparently it was Eiji. Usami's probably with him. Going to get some ramen with them would be a complete waste of time, but I was just subjected to Gonzo's lecturing. Maybe I should call Eiichi back. No, wait. The true identity of Mao has nothing to do with me. I'm not about to expose myself to spending time with that irritating Usami just for a tip or two. Maybe I should blow them off and head to Tsubaki's house for a check-in. I need to keep an eye on them. It'll be bad news if they get desperate and call the police. What should I do? This might seem like a trifling matter, but this decision will greatly affect the actions I take from here on out. In other words, I think this is the point of no return for getting onto Tsubaki's route. I'm not positive about that, but I think so. And, given that I'm still sick, actually, I think this is a great place to end today's episode. A little shorter than usual, but hopefully you guys understand. I'll be back in a day, maybe two, with another episode. I might take a break tomorrow, but thank you guys very much for watching. Please let me know what you think about the the border thing, and if there's been any issues with the audio, note that for me too. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.